has started their training, ambassadors for their country come June. So who are they?
Actually being a transport volunteer to take people to the stadium, take people from hotels.
I'll be volunteering for the World Cup. I'm currently working as an IT project manager, and I've decided to offer my services for free, volunteer to help my country for the 2010 World Cup.
I believe it's important that everybody gets involved to promote the country and also for afterwards, because it's not just these 4 weeks. It's what we want to show the tourists that hopefully come afterwards.
This session was all about having fun, but these helpers know that with 350,000 visitors expected for the event, they'll need to be on their toes.
But the real test for these hosts is whether they can master this, the disky dance that organisers hope will be practiced around the world.
Already the cooks, clerks and security guards who work at this conference centre have learnt the steps based on footballing moves, a clever marketing tool. Come kick-off, the whole country's expected to dance to the same tune. Karen Allen, BBC News, Johannesburg.
It's 4:25. In a few moments, we'll be joined by viewers from BBC One, and Matthew will have a summary of all the main news. In the meantime, though, just a reminder that if you're away from the television and you still want to keep up to date, you can now watch BBC News live on the web. Just go to bbc.co.uk/news and then click at the link on the top of the page there.
Good afternoon. The government has rejected calls to increase the age of criminal responsibility to 12 after a senior government advisor said the killers of James Bulger should not have been tried as adults. The Children's Commissioner for England, Maggie Atkinson, said that children aged 10 don't know the full consequences of their actions. Here's Daniel Bircher.
John Venables and Robert Thompson were 10 years old when they murdered James Bulger. With Venables recalled to prison earlier this month, there have been wider questions about how the law deals with young children. The new Children's Commissioner for England believes Thompson and Venables should not have been tried in an adult court and wants the age of criminal responsibility raised. In a statement issued to clarify comments she'd made in a newspaper, Dr. Maggie Atkinson said, "Some children and young people do commit terrible crimes and are a danger to themselves and to others. It is right, therefore, that these children are contained in secure settings, as in the case of James Bulger's killers." But she goes on to say that the age of criminal responsibility in England is one of the lowest in Europe, adding, "We are in danger of criminalising too many children and young people by locking them up for committing far less serious crimes." It's a view supported by the former chair of the Youth Justice Board.
In no other country in Western Europe would John Venables have been prosecuted. Most agreement in most countries is that 12 is probably about the right age to have as an age of criminal responsibility, and in several Western European countries it's as high as 14, 15.
In the UK, the lowest age is 8 in Scotland, though there are plans to raise the minimum age for prosecutions to 12. In England, Wales and Northern Ireland, it is 10. The government has made it clear it does not intend to raise the age of criminal responsibility. The Ministry of Justice says it believes children aged 10 and over can tell the difference between bad behaviour and serious wrongdoing. Campaigners for reform say it's an issue that will need to be revisited after the forthcoming election, with a view to what's happening in other European countries. Daniel Bircher, BBC News.
An 18-year-old man from Greater Manchester has been remanded in custody, charged with harassment after his neighbour collapsed and died. 64-year-old David Askew, who had severe learning difficulties, was found dead outside his home in Hattersley on Wednesday. The Liberal Democrat leader, Nick Clegg, says in the event of a hung parliament, his party will not work with anyone who wants to cut public spending too early. At their spring conference in Birmingham, the Lib Dems Treasury spokesman Vince Cable condemned Conservative plans to reduce Britain's deficit as butchery. Here's Gary O'Donoghue.
They love Vince Cable. They believe he was the only politician to have predicted the economic collapse. But he had a tough message for the troops today. Lots of cuts in public spending, no ring-fencing of particular areas, but the cuts only really biting in 2012, unlike the Tories, who want to cut straight away.
A Liberal Democrat government would conduct an urgent public spending review, not Tory butchering behind closed doors. We would identify priorities and debate them publicly, because